Today is May 22nd. I just got off work as washing dishes. Boy, I had a big migraine headache. Thankfully, I bought 3 hamburgers, which will probably uh, be good for maybe a week. I think maybe week or two, maybe. Today, um, I realized what regime is. Regime. I suddenly realized the thing called regime. Regime is a particular, uh, in my definition, and other people most likely will be correct, but it seems to be related to a trend that's occurring. Trend that occurs based on three things. Three things will occur. One of them is it's trending up, it's trending sideways, and it's trending down. That's the three types of regimes that exists. Um, just like Tesla at this point seems to have regained its regime of upward trajectory, and that's why it went up like $9 today. Some of the things that are occurring, there are some positive things that are occurring that may be attracting bigger and bigger and more interest into escalating its upward trajectory. However, once that interest wanes, there's going to be a sideways action, which essentially is the sellers will equal the number of buyers, which will cause the stock to move in a sideways as time progresses. And there will be at a point where uh, if uh, if there is a significant competitor to Tesla, then there is a possibility that the stock will start to retrace because of the favorable situation with the customers, the competitors, and these competitors are gaining traction. Apparently, BYD will be able to essentially take over the market in China because of the price of their car, which is essentially about 1/5 the price of Tesla, essentially. And so what that means is that when that occurs within the next 6 months, and the stock market sees stock market reflects what will happen in 6 months apparently. And so this is a regime change that I was not aware of in the past, because what I would do is essentially my mindset in itself is a single-minded regime. I am the regime. I am the regime. And when I think in terms of my own regime, then whatever the market does is irrelevant to the thesis that I create based on my regime. And that regime uh, most likely will be incorrect when the market is actually moving in the direction that is different than the direction that my regime is thinking about, such as there is a tendency for me to go long in situations, in most situations, irrespective of what the market regime is attempting to do, so that uh, when the market wants to trend down, and I'm thinking to myself, and my regime is always thinking, okay, it's going to go up, it's going to go up, and I keep holding on to something that was down and down and down and down, that essentially will cause me to essentially drain my account. And so the critical component is the critical component that most uh, what I've seen so far of the professionals who have been trading for a while discusses the instances where there is a monthly trend, there's a weekly trend, there's a daily trend, and there's also the intraday trend. And most likely, the intraday trend will reflect in a general overall theme of the regime that is occurring. And so even if the stock dips, but if the trend is up, then most likely there's a higher probability that there will be a recovery towards that day within that same intraday period. Conversely, when the trend is actually trending down, then when the stock has peaked within that intraday, then intraday most likely will start to dip. And that fits in with the regime of that particular stock. And that's what happens. And so I have to identify what the market regime is for that period so that I can trade accordingly because the method of trades will be different. If the market in the overall sector is choppy based on the fact that it's moving sideways because there's equivalently the same amount of buyers and sellers, then I need to switch up the way that I trade, and I have to be more selective in the stocks that I trade because some of the stocks on that intraday basis may be just trending down, and some of the stocks may actually be trending up for that period to stay within that band of sideways movement. As well, when it's trending down, then I need to be able to understand that that is the regime. The regime has changed. It has now the big funds are selling, and some of the other funds maybe filling in, but the reality is because the stock is dropping and dropping, it means that there are more sellers than buyers, which will cause the price of the stock to start to sag until at a point where the price is uh, price is attractive enough to attract other funds to enter and cause the stock to traverse. So this is the regime change that I need to be aware of, and that applies directly with the work that I do as a dishwasher. When I walk in to wash dishes, I know that I have to be aware of what type of regime it is. And however, for me, I'm just a dishwasher, and I just do whatever the regime is. I'm a dishwasher. I wash dishes and I go home. Whatever regime there is, if I can wash dishes and go, then that's it. Whatever regime there is, I wash dishes and I go. That's it.